XCon Media.
Hey, what is going on? What is going on? Appreciate you tapping in. We just gonna do something random tonight. Scrolling TikTok. We just gonna run down this TikTok feed, man, and algorithms are what they are. So I may not see the same thing that you see, but hey, you can see what I see. Now, if it comes to someone and music is playing, we're going to get through there quick because we don't need any copyright strikes whatsoever. But we just gonna run down this old TikTok feed and see what we do. See what we doing right here. So let's go. Just something random tonight, y'all. Let's see.
The same time.
First up, man. If y'all listen, my partner Craig Long, 45, man. He was I know a little bit about his story. He was a convicted felon that later on got his rights back and everything. I salute that brother. I must say that he is one of the first ones. I used to go back and forth with him back in 2020. Because yes, I voted for Joe Biden. I was not considering myself a Democrat, but I did vote Democratic, and I used to go back and forth with this dude. And then I decided to do the research for myself. And turns out this guy right here, everything he said was correct. And hey, I vote Republican, and that's what I do, whether you like it or not. But let's just go down this feed. So let's first up. Official Craig Long, 45, man. This brother here got some great, awesome content, especially if you are a Republican.
Our boring ass narrative of hate Trump. I swear these people have nothing else to offer the American people besides this old played out narrative. Play the clip.
Quick, how big of a factor is Donald Trump's cognitive decline?
Here she go getting ready to lie.
I think that the president has been acting in increasingly erratic ways.
Oh my God.
I think it is really damning when we think about the degree to which mass media outlets reported on Joe Biden.
Are you serious? You guys shield for years.
In the Democratic Party changing its nominee, etc.
No, you guys.
Yet, we are seeing behavior from Donald Trump that is increasingly erratic and alarming, and everyone's pretending that this is normal.
Oh my God, that's what y'all
did. I don't understand why that is. It is very bizarre. But then, importantly, I think that for our European partners and for our global partners, I think what they also see is the result of not just one man, right? But also the entire government apparatus and a party that is willing to watch someone decompensate in front of the world and do nothing about it. I don't know what's going on, but I find that the standard, it would be helpful if we could apply an even standard here and far more, a fraction of the reporting that was dedicated, a year or two ago to see.
If anybody having a cognitive decline, it sounds like it's her. Man, get it out.
That applied right now.
First of all, Biden was retarded. He clearly had dementia and a mental decline, and you guys shield for 4+ years while everybody around the world laughed at us, and our country suffered for it while other countries took advantage of us. So Trump is not acting erratic. If anything, Trump is restoring America back to the powerhouse that it once was and letting these globalists know that we will not bow down, that they better get in line. Man, the left has
On the yards I was on, it ain't no mixing no North Daniels or no Sedanios or no Bulldogs. They keep them three gangs separated from each other, homie. You know what I'm saying? So you feel me? If you a North Day, you going with the North Days. If you a Bulldog, you going with the Bulldogs. If you a Sedanio, you going with the Sedanios. They keep that. When I was going to the pen, they kept them three organizations completely separated. But chip off of this, the blacks. You can put the blacks anywhere with any black. It'll be a Hoover in the cell with a neighborhood. And that's another thing I want to say about the streets being the street code, the streets of the street code. So you telling me that I hit this corner every day, bust at one of these dudes, and when I get on the yard with one of his homies, I can't do nothing to him because then my own homie's gonna do. Bro, this is weak, bro. Another contradiction I was talking about, Witty. Like. That shit is stupid, bro. Like, listen, bro. Do not wait to die and throw your life to realize you messed up, bro. These blood and Crip gangs in LA are bush. It's all a lie, bro. On the yards I was on, it ain't no mix.
I got to give that brother a like right there, man. Listen, I'm glad somebody's saying it, man. That's one of the things that I'm glad I never engaged in, never got into, man. Everything was always a solo mission with me, man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I ain't never got into it, man. That's a bunch of bogus follower, somebody that like to follow type stuff. I ain't never been a follower. I always led, even when wrong. I was leading. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad to be able to, thank God for deliverance because I changed my life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm glad somebody's saying it, though. So I got to give that brother a like right there.
You have failed the people of Minnesota to provide free health care to illegal aliens. You signed the Higher Education Omnibus Bill into law in May of 2023. That bill allows illegals to have their college tuition paid for by the state. You signed the Driver's License for All Act into law in March of 2023, and that bill allows illegals to receive driver's licenses. So you claim you're not a sanctuary state. You just provide free health care, free college, and driver's licenses to illegal aliens. One reason you're here testifying before us today is because you refuse to cooperate with ICE. While states like Florida and Virginia empower their law enforcement to detain and remove criminal illegal aliens, you, sir, have done just the opposite. Your attorney general is directing law enforcement to ignore ICE immigration detainers. Do you agree with the attorney general's guidance?
Well, Congressman, it's good to see you again, and thank you for being here. First, I would say, as my job as governor of Minnesota is to make Minnesota the best state in the nation.
Do you agree with the attorney general's guidance?
Now, this is who y'all dodged the bullet. The country was not stupid. Shout out to my country, man. Shout out to the United States of America, because this piece of POS right here, this POS right here was almost the vice president of the United States, man. But we did not fall for it. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say on that. We, the people, did not fall for it, and now look at Tim Walz, man. Disgraceful.
Congressman, what I would say on this is that Minnesota follows all law. I would say
it's a very easy question. And again, if you claim you're not a sanctuary state, you just claim that you support policies. You're not a sanctuary state, but you support policies that prevent ICE from doing their job.
Congressman,
isn't that right?
That is incorrect, Congressman. We follow the same laws when you were in the Minnesota House. The law has not changed.
If you'll allow me, I've got limited time. Well, that's what you tweeted, by the way, sir. And on May 23rd, 2018, you tweeted, quote, "I support policies that keep law enforcement from enforcing federal laws," close quote. On May 17th, just this spring, at the University of Minnesota Law School's commencement ceremony, you said, quote, "Donald Trump's modern-day Gestapo is scooping folks up off the streets." When you said the words modern-day Gestapo, you were referring to ICE agents. Gestapo, by the way, sir, was the official secret police of Hitler's Nazi Germany. So you're calling ICE agents modern-day Nazis. Given the attacks on ICE agents that took place in Los Angeles over the weekend, don't you regard your dangerous inflammatory rhetoric as a problem?
The questions, do you want me to answer first?
So, sir, it saddens me that you refuse to express regret from comparing ICE to Nazis. ICE agents are brave Americans who get up every morning, leave their families, and put their lives in harm's way to protect our country, sir. You, at the very least, owe an apology to these dedicated public servants. I will say, sir, inflammatory rhetoric such as yours and the other governors on this panel is responsible.
This is what we almost got in the White House, y'all, where he was one act away from becoming the president of the United States. He almost was the vice president and one act away, and this is what was going to be leading the country.
For putting a target on the back of every ICE agent who is risking their life to protect our communities. Minnesota is all too familiar, by the way, with the chaos that ensues when you refuse to work with law enforcement to enforce the law. In May 2020, looting, acts of violence, and arson occurred on your watch in Minneapolis after you refused to bring in the National Guard. Governor, your agenda is clear. Free healthcare, free college and driver's licenses for illegals while handcuffing law enforcement when they're trying to protect our citizens and their communities. If you think that's not a sanctuary state, you shouldn't be governor. By turning Minnesota into a magnet for illegals, you have opened up our communities to dangerous criminals, including.
He almost became vice president. He almost became the vice president.
Including known terrorists, gang members, murderers, and child predators. You have sent a resounding message that if you're a hardworking, law-abiding citizen of Minnesota, your safety and well-being are not the priorities of Tim Walz and his administration. But if you're coming to our state illegally, you're not only welcome with open arms, you're entitled to free stuff on the taxpayer's dime. This is absolutely disgraceful. Governor Walz, your sanctuary state agenda has been defined by your utter failure. You have failed to enforce the rule of law. You have failed to uphold our national sovereignty. And most importantly, you have failed the people of Minnesota. The time for radical sanctuary state policy, sir, is over. The voters made that clear last November when they elected President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. You remember him, don't you? Governor, the time for real leaders and real leadership is now. And with that, sir, actually, Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to introduce into the record the governor's tweet that I referenced from May 23rd, 2018, which makes it clear his hatred for federal law enforcement. You have failed.
Woo.
Jay, mailbox sent you a rose.
Maybe if I change the way.
Yo, this 16-year-old kid, Zion Smith.
Look at you. Oh.
Hey, ça dit.
Well,
11:30.
No. Might be a lie, y'all.
If you have any of these insurances, please stop.
No athlete can afford to fly private all the time. I got guys 22 making $200 million over the next 4 or 5 years. I got several of those guys, right? I'm constantly telling them that's not a lot of money.
man, I'm gonna tell you like this. Anybody who proclaims to ride.
Shout out to Cam Newton, man. This dude is definitely knowledgeable and hilarious at the same time, man. Yeah, man. I like old Cam, man. I'm gonna get to meet him one day. My son actually met him. He was on stage with him for one of Cam Newton's shoe events, and I'm gonna remind him of something that my son asked him on stage. Also reminding him of the answer that he gave my son. My son is now 18, on his way to University of Chicago in August, which is a Ivy League school, one of the top 5 schools in the nation. So shout out to my son. Yeah. But yeah, let's check out Cam Newton.
Or fly private every single flight, they capping.
Unless you own the plane. Still?
They capping.
Why so?
Let me tell you like this, brother. There's very few individuals, and call me crazy. There's very few individuals that really benefit off of flying private. In order for you to really benefit off of flying private, you have to own the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with me, Peggy.
Okay, I'm with you.
Now you gotta really stay with me with this.
All right. You gotta break them numbers down what that flying private look like too.
Okay, we in Atlanta, Georgia, no Peg.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quote to go from Atlanta to Miami. You know how much that's gonna cost me?
To fly private.
To fly private. In the let's say an 8 to 15 passenger.
Okay, 8 to 15.
Rough numbers, it's gonna cost you anywhere from about $30,000 to $60,000. One way.
30 to 60K.
One way.
God,
one way. And from my expertise of my sources, you're not really paying for the private experience more so than you're paying for the fuel.
Mm.
Now, Peggy, you gotta pay attention to me. If you see her on a private plane, hold on. Peggy, you gotta stay with me with this one.
Right, come on.
If you see her posting that she on a private plane, she with somebody.
She ain't that low. It depends on who she is, I guess.
She ain't Dolo. Dodo.
Somebody taking that picture.
Bro, understand this, dog. The amount of money that it costs to fly private, I paid that ticket once. I said never again. That doesn't mean that I only flew private once. If you see me flying private, somebody either done sent the jet through the company or I got some good friends.
Yeah.
That, hey, are you going to Atlanta? Hey, man, go on and drop me out there, my boy.
Yeah,
I have no issue with a diamond medallion.
Okay.
I have no issue with American Airlines. I think the buck stops with me with United. That's probably the lowest I'm gonna go.
Delta.
I got Delta. American Airlines. I'll rock with American Airlines.
If you have to, you go.
If I have to, I'll go United.
But Delta number. Or American.
You try to hit me with a Spirit. No, I'm good. I'd rather drive.
The most Spirit, you might, the Spirit of Cam.
The Spirit of me telling you, oh, that was cute. I ain't riding and flying in no Spirit.
You ain't Frontier?
No. Southwest? Them days gone, Peggy. And it ain't because I'm bougie.
I fly Southwest, Cam. For me, it's Delta Airlines first and foremost all the time. It's Delta. But if I have to back it up, if I gotta back it up, I'm going Southwest. I'm not, Southwest is okay with me. Southwest is okay with me. Never flew United. Spirit only if it's a one-day trip, and I mean 1 day. Literally, I'm flying. I did this 2 months ago. Flew to New Orleans Saturday morning, Saturday evening back in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? I take Spirit for that, but Frontier, nah. The rest of them, nah. I'm good. I like to be on Delta, where I can take this iPhone and send a text message to the people on the ground. Yeah, I can send a text message to people on the ground. I'm not taking anything else, but yeah, I feel them on that though for sure.
Yeah.
I'm slick claustrophobic.
You like to get your
bruh. People playing them petty games with arm placements.
Oh yeah, get to the spot first.
You know what I'm saying? You get people get real petty in their lines. Like I was here first. Hey, dog. With me, man, I'm plat, baby.
You said what?
I'm plat. I'm 360, man. Hey, man, Delta, man, thank you for, you know what I'm saying, put me in that elite club. 360, I go anywhere. +1, all that.
Appreciate you.
I get Porsche pull up.
+1.
Huh? You see what I'm saying? But I ain't going to no Frontier. I'm not doing
You
that.
ain't fronting at the
I'm not doing it. And I'm not knocking anybody who does that.
Because I done jumped in that front.
Bro, I am 6'6". I wear clothes that are tailored to my body, which sometimes means it restricts me from bending down, getting up. It's like, bro, I ain't trying to do all that moving. And then I like a little entertainment when I'm flying, Peggy. That Wi-Fi got to be lit.
Okay.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
So when Rich Paul talking about, hey, brother, it's okay to be on Delta. Trust me. It's okay to be on Delta.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't out here flying private every single day of the week.
Yeah. Because a lot of people be surprised. They're like, Cam, what you doing in the airport?
Bruh, I'm just
Cam
like,
on my flight. I'm like,
hey, listen, bruh. The plan is to keep the money, not to say that you once had the money.
Yeah.
Don't let that fly over your head. Don't let that fly over your head, brother. But I need these kings to stay woke up out here.
Come on now.
She bad, ain't she?
Yeah.
She gorgeous, ain't she?
Still gonna be fine on that Delta.
That's cool. And boy, let me tell you something. Man, my cousin, a flight attendant, right? He said, hey, dog. He said, hey, bro, them pretty females, they veterans when they fly. Say, what you mean? All pretty females fly early in the morning on Frontier.
Like the early first flight out, so nobody see him. How you get here?
Them Southwest discounts, $40 to Miami.
First thing smoking.
First thing smoking.
Got to. That's a bar.
I'm trying to stay woke. I just dropped. I'm telling
might
you
need to go ahead and figure it out.
They be getting them deals. And then all of a sudden you start to say like, hey, bro, you over here flexing on Instagram. If you gotta show and prove to people that this is what you really doing, it really ain't what you really or normally doing.
That's a fact.
Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If that ain't your life every day, you ain't gotta showcase what you doing that day.
Normal.
It's normal.
That's a fact.
But when he told me about them baddies, he said, yeah, bro, I see more baddies with their bonnet on and their hoodie down. They ain't talk, and ain't nobody talking early in the morning.
Yeah, ain't with it.
When you see a essentials jumpsuit with them burns attached and them Uggs,
boots.
Jake on it.
What's up?
I see you, babe.
I see you.
Go about your way. I see you, babe. And it's 5:45.
Yeah.
I got you.
No athlete can afford to.
That brother is hilarious, man.
If you have any of these insurances, please stop.
All right. Oh my God, it smells horrible. Smells just like a sewage system, guys. It's insane.
Lagos, Nigeria. Wow. I am 29% Nigerian. Yeah, I am. But my boy, let's see what my boy talking about. He is in Lagos, Nigeria.
Oh, those are the boats. This is a boat station. Hello. Hello. It's the boat station. Okay. My only wish not to fall this water today. Yeah, hopefully. They are shifting the thing so I can sit down there. Okay, I get in. Please. All right. Here. Okay. In the middle. Okay. Okay. I come with you. One more step. Should I sit this way? Facing you. All right. Oh, thank you so much, brother. So the whole life is on the boat here, no? The businesses. I know. Hey, let him go. Let him go. Imagine fighting on the land, but imagine fighting on the boat. It's more dangerous. So you can see. So basically, everything is built on the wood sticks, right? Goes down to how much water is what's the height of the water here?
It's not deep at all.
Not deep. Okay.
All this place is not deep.
So this water, if I stand, you like it? Thank you. So if you stand on the water, it's from here, maybe?
No, but we're going inside.
No. If I get into this water, water will be from my knee, from my leg, from the middle. Okay. So it will be like you can, when you stand up, you can actually stand up on the water. So it's not too deep. And is this a lagoon or is this a river? What is this? Is this a lagoon or is this a river? What is it?
No, this is normal.
Hello.
Normal.
Hello.
Water.
Hello. So this is part of the ocean, or is this a lagoon?
This is lagoon.
This is lagoon. Okay. And then one thing you notice that how happy are the people? They are just smiling. They are just waving at you. Like you can understand their hello. You can understand their living conditions, but people are still happy and they push through day by day to make a living, to make money and support their families, which is absolutely fascinating. Brother, there is no electricity on this town, right? They have electricity,
some.
But not every house.
Not every house. Some does not.
And some houses they just use generators.
They use generators, and
Okay.
some houses use lamps.
So,
They use lamp. They use wooden lamps. Use kerosene to power it. Some use solars. Those ones that have little change.
Okay.
They use solars. And why some use candles? Some use candles.
Yeah. So during the night there is no light here, not much. It's super dark. So brother, there is no sewage system, right? So the toilet goes directly to this water. Okay. So this is just sewage system. Yeah. There's so much trash, so much the human waste. Hello. All the human waste just goes down to the water, which is absolutely crazy. So you think what's the future of this Makoko community? What's the most important thing here?
The most important thing is education.
Education.
Power the next generation.
Yeah.
Ensure,
electricity, education.
Education.
Yeah.
And thirdly, not just education and sustainability.
Yeah.
And third one, environmental sanitation.
Yeah.
Exercise need to come to Makoko.
Yeah.
And the fourth one, we need a good hospital.
Hospital.
Good hospital.
So you don't have hospital
so
here.
Time we have to talk to
Oh,
churches.
be careful.
We have to talk to churches. We have to talk to NGOs
Hello.
to come and do 3 days or 4 or 5 days medical outreaches for malaria treatment and some kind of little surgical operations. So that's how we operate most times, because most of these our local hospitals cannot do everything. So they can just do merely some kind of malaria test. And
What about giving birth? Because there are so many kids. Do they give birth in their house or do they go somewhere? I was asking if there are lots of kids. Obviously, mothers gives birth to kids. So where do they give the birth? In the house or in the hospital?
No, most time people give birth in the house.
In the house.
Most time people give birth in the hospital. It depends how the person is privileged to attend antenatal in the hospital.
Yeah.
It depends. Maybe the husband is rich or not. So some hospitals here are expensive.
Yeah.
And some here are not.
But what's the hospital? Hospital is something like this, or is it a normal building? It's a wooden hospital. Okay.
I'll show you one.
So I can imagine the malaria is one of the big issues here. From these waters, mosquitoes just bite you and you get a disease.
Okay.
That's why I have my malaria pill today. I have put also longer trousers just to protect myself a little bit extra. But I don't see any flies, no mosquitoes at the moment. But you can imagine when it's super dark here in the evening, because they don't have electricity, the insects are just all over the place. So the life basically stops for them in the night because they don't go anywhere, and then there's no light and no entertainment. And as the thing is that if they have electronics, if they don't have electricity, and you have like a charging stations here, right? You have a charging stations here, right? So if someone don't have the electricity, they can go charge.
Light goes down.
Okay.
For 2-3 months. So charging stations are the one that operate more.
Yeah.
People have to go in there and pay.
Thank you. Wow, this is basically every street. This is one street, and then you turn. There's one street. Hello. And this is the largest floating slum in whole of Africa. Around 200,000 people live here, right?
Wow. Over 500,000.
Over 500,000.
Over 500,000.
Wow, that's incredible. So imagine living in a place like this, but you have to still pay a rent. How much would be rent, like a small house?
It's very shared.
So how much is that approximately?
Sometimes either 5,000 in a month.
5,000. So like $6, $7.
8,000 in a month. It depends.
Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna finalize the video here, but I'm gonna film one more video from here. So I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Signing out for now. All right.
Just so that I could put the whole, is this what you voted for question to bed, retiring that question, I'm going to let it be known that I voted for Trump so he could do whatever he wants. Okay? I voted for him to do whatever he wants. After all he's been through for this country and for all that he's delivered for us, yo, Trump, you can do whatever you want. And if there is a way for him to get a third term, I'm all for it. I will vote for him again. He's earned that right with me. He has the next generation's best interest at heart. Everybody's playing for short term. Let me get you. Let me be an obstructionist. Let me get in your way. Like, if he doesn't deliver everything that he wants in this term and he's up for re-election, they saying it's unconstitutional. If they gonna make a new amendment, whatever it is, whatever it takes, I will vote for him again. Call me delusional, call me whatever you want. He's earned that right. Whenever I wake up, see truth or see that he's done something crazy like what he did with Venezuela, I'm like, yo, I ain't even think of that. But I agree. I'm riding with my dog. So all y'all keep asking that question, is that what you voted for? Yo, listen, I voted for him to do whatever he wants. So he could do whatever he wants. I'm going to be by his side, riding with him. Just so that I could put the whole, is this what you...
If you're a dad watching this,
no city in America can compete with Oakland in terms of violence, pimping, or dope dealer. That's a proven fact. The Bloods and Crips have infiltrated every major city throughout the country. Ask them why they never came to Oakland. They get knocked off as soon as they touch down. Can't no outsiders come to Oakland. If you're not from Oakland, stay away from Oakland. Bloods and Crips are in New York, Houston, everywhere you can think of. All the major metropolitan black cities, you'll find a Crip or a Blood. Not in Oakland.
What's that about? Just is it culture that's keeping it?
No, Oakland is violent. We don't fuck with outsiders. We're violent.
Y'all don't care how much money they have. Y'all don't care none of that.
We don't give a fuck. Oakland is the most violent city in America. And we've got 400,000 residents. You know what I'm saying? So no city in America can compete with Oakland in terms of violence.
So you're telling me...
I was today years old when I learned...
Do you know how many people Barack Obama deported in 8 years?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Well, why don't you guess?
I don't know and don't care.
Well, hang on. You don't know and you don't care. You've just given me...
Because it's not the issue. You're
hang
trying
on,
to make
on.
the issue the
Hang
southern
on,
border.
Joy.
I'm sure going to tell me it's your main issue.
You've just given me
but it's not my main issue. My main issue is that what we're seeing...
I'm trying to finish my sentence. You've
Please.
just given me a lengthy monologue attacking Donald Trump's aggressive deportation policy. And I've simply said to you, there was a Democrat, a black Democrat president of the United States for 8 years. I'm simply asking, given that you're obviously all over every detail of the Trump deportation policy, and given you were on the airwaves in America on a daily basis through Obama's tenure, how many people did he deport in 8 years?
I do not know. You'll tell me, I'm sure.
Have a guess.
But it's probably more than 1 million people. I'm quite certain.
Have a
because
guess.
I think each...
We offered NBA Youngboy $1 million. Me and NBA Youngboy got on the phone and everything. Everything happened good. You know what I mean? So I guess speaking on Lil Tim, NBA Youngboy was scared to do it. Remember, we offered him $1 million. Kodak ended up taking $1 million. And NBA Youngboy said he wanted the song to be more positive. I'm not on that no positive shit. I don't want to be positive.
He ain't really.
Why y'all want to come here to be positive with me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, why having to clean up on our O? Like, you know what I mean? So don't come over here try to be positive. There's no positivity going around here. So Lil Tim, I guess he was just like, nobody wanted to be the first jump out there and do the song. So he was in communication with the label. The label was like, yo, you know, like, I guess he was still fighting the self-defense.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
So he didn't want to go on. And remember, I was mocking the death on the song. So I'm like, the song's called Gine.
Gine was originally meant to have a Lil Tim feature, right?
Exactly.
That's what I understand.
Exactly. So there's the song with Lil Tim, and I actually got the verse. I'm gonna ask the label to send it to me. And we offered.
All right, so AI is getting a little bit crazy. This is from Sora 2.
Hello, everyone. Minnesota here. I'm actually in Minneapolis. So I work 80 to 90 hours a week. I put on 6 to 7.
Now this is all random, y'all. We just didn't really have too much to talk about tonight. So we just randomly scrolling through TikTok, man. This is my TikTok feed. So the same things that show up on your feed may not show up, but this is my feed and we just randomly scrolling for whoever catches the video.
100 miles a week on my car. I work incredibly hard. Now, the media would have you believe that this entire state is a Democrat state and a socialist Democrat state. And I can tell you that there are millions of conservatives in this state. I want you to ponder something. So a common question I get asked is, how do you guys keep electing these corrupt politicians into the Minnesota government? So ponder this. Billions of dollars worth of fraud here. And we're supposed to believe, oh, our bad. It just slipped through my fingers. I didn't even know what was going on. And some might have went in my pocket, but we'll fix it. But our elections are completely honest. We are to be trusted 100% in this area. I truly believe this will be the next fraud that will come out in insane numbers. First point. Second point, as conservatives, we are so suppressed in this state. We cannot talk about our values, our love for this country, why we are conservatives, how we value family, country, Constitution, for fear of loss of job, loss of company, loss of customers. Oh, and by the way, now you need to strap up to take your family to church, because I guarantee you with the leadership that we have here in Minnesota, that issue is going to get way, way worse. Which I have no problem protecting my family in that way, and there are millions of us that feel the same way. But can I tell you, I am tired. I feel utterly betrayed, and I am tired. So here's my request from you guys. Will you please pray for Minnesota? Pray.
Let's see. Okay, so
the real danger is what scammers could do with the info.
Can I get 2 minutes of your time? Yeah. What's up, Jim? I'm C's from Bedrock Customs. I'm good, man. I've been customizing shoes since Diplomatic Immunity came out. I'm a fan of yours. I've been doing this forever. I see you all the time giving out gifts. This is my gift to you. All right? This is my gift to you. Humbly, respect you. These are yours. Boston. Boston.
Boston?
Boston, yes, sir.
See that, dude?
Just so you know, that's a jacket. So when you do your drip report, your boots is covered. That jacket comes on and off, just like this one here. You take it off, you can take that right off and throw it on one of your other boots. For you though, you got a funky lace system, I seen it. So I put the extra hooks on there so you don't gotta lace them all the way up to the top. Respect. I know that. I hear it in your voice all the time. Yes, sir. You're welcome. Enjoy those, man.
I will.
Custom box and everything. I don't know if you've seen the box.
I've seen the Army box. I'm about to put this up in my studio.
Yeah.
This is fucking fire. I like your creativity.
Appreciate it. Can I get 2 minutes of your time?
Give me an A-list rapper right now.
Drake.
You think him and Speed making the same amount of money? I'm giving you that. Drake and Speed. Who you think making more money right now?
Drake.
How? Off music?
He just did a tour. I don't know how good his OVO merch is doing.
Nigga, Speed with the fucking Sheik of Saudi Arabia. Put it like this. Why just comparing the two should say what nigga it's Speed, a nigga that gets in front of a camera, bro.
Drake though, his catalog, you know how much streams he does?
That's cool, bro.
I know he may not own his music.
All right, cool.
But he's recouped.
No, that's cool. But bro, imagine putting a 10-year amount of work in, right? Take Care, Marvin's Room, One Dance, all that shit, and a kid comes out of fucking Cleveland, Ohio, just fucking doing backflips in his living room. That's what I do, bro. I talk facts, bro.
Sora 2 is now on. What is going on with Greenland? Why does Trump care? Well, I can tell you, Canada says they need to protect the Arctic. Putin says it's his next front. And China and Russia want to challenge the Arctic Order, so there's probably more to the story. Here's Greenland right here, and there's the Arctic Ocean. For a long time, the Arctic Ocean has been considered the fourth wall because it's totally inaccessible. But that's changing because now there's what's called a transpolar sea route. It's an ice-free shipping route that's opening up by mid-century, meaning that regular ships are going to be able to transverse this in certain parts of the year and then later probably during the whole year. And that is a seriously important shipping route. I mean, it's right between Asia, Russia, North America, Europe. This is going to make Greenland as important as, for example, the Suez Canal is to Egypt and the Middle East. Maybe the most important future trade route on the planet. But there is a lot more to the story. The Kola Peninsula has become the crux of Russia's military. This is the Kola Peninsula right here. Here's Greenland, Europe down here, North America over here. And here's an image of the Kola Peninsula from satellites. The Kola Peninsula has become what Putin is calling his ice curtain. There's a bunch of military hardware here. Here's another image showing some of it. And China is positioning itself as a near Arctic state. They're calling this new transpolar sea route the Ice Silk Road. And they're investing heavily in Arctic affairs. Here is a delegation. Mining, science, which is going to come back. Science can mean a lot of things. And political engagement. And you can't tell this story without highlighting America's beatific space base. That's how you say that word. Here's an image of our important radar dome. U.S. Space Command highlights the strategic importance of beatific space base because it exists in a unique position at the top of the world where you can monitor missiles that might come from a place like North Korea or be outbound from the United States. It is key to the ballistic missile early warning system, basically key to protecting America. But as the space race intensifies, which it absolutely is, it has become essential for satellite control, performing basically a toll sort of monitoring element for low Earth orbit. Bidefik Space Base is considered to be the most important military installation outside of the United States. And to a lesser extent, Greenland's rare earths are important because currently China has basically a monopoly on that market. And of course, they use their leverage. They have done things like targeted our defense sectors and semiconductor manufacturing. But the thing is, the United States signed a deal with the Kingdom of Denmark in 1951 that basically gave us everything we want with respect to Greenland. We already have US Space Command at Bidefik Space Base. And if we want to, we can pursue rare earth mining in Greenland. So it seems like Trump already has a lot of what he wants, does he? Well, there's an important ripple to this story, which is that in 2009, Greenland became self-governing in many important ways. In the deal they made with Denmark to self-govern, they now have control over international affairs. And it's important to note that there's a lot of poverty in Greenland. They are not a wealthy nation. And when you don't have a lot of money, you need external support, which means that other people can come in and offer you things like loan guarantees. This Chinese-built airport became a big issue because it would put a lot of Chinese technology right near our most important military installation outside the United States. And moreover, when Greenland manages its own international affairs, this tiny population of 50,000 people who don't have a lot of money become the most important player in the newly most strategically important spot on the planet that sits right between Asia, Russia, and North America. That provides a lot of instability. And it means that the rules aren't clear about what can happen in that area. And what's happened, for example, is China has built an ice-breaking ship called Xuelong 2. Here is Xuelong 2 going through the ice in the Arctic. And it's known that China has a remote sensing platform for the Arctic environment. So you've got Xuelong 2 cruising around the Arctic, building detailed maps of things like the seafloor features where, for example, we might have things that relate to submarines. And Russia has been a lot more straightforward and aggressive about it. They've deployed nuclear forces in the Arctic, the Kinzhal missile. This is a hypersonic weapon, meaning that it's so fast that it's actually hard for us to monitor. So what's the solution? What's our approach? Well, actually, there is some precedent here. First of all, it's important to note that while a lot of people in the media and on the left say basically that Trump is just on some crazy mission, the US has been knowing about the strategic importance of Greenland for a really long time. Since 1868, when Seward pointed it out. William Seward was the Secretary of State that bought Alaska in what at the time was called Seward's Folly. I don't think people would consider that a mistake now. So how might we do this? Well, we have a model called the Compact of Free Association, and we use that with relationships with territories like Micronesia and the Marshall Islands. And what it does is give the territory that comes into the compact access to a lot of US programs like FEMA, National Weather Service, Postal Service, FAA, and banking. And the citizens of those territories can live and work in the United States, and US citizens can live and work there. And importantly, it allows the United States to operate armed forces in the area. So in 2009, as I mentioned, Greenland officially became a self-governing territory, and they have the right to secede. The reason they don't secede right now is that they get Danish subsidies of about $600 million a year. And just to point out, $600 million is how much a retired NBA player spent on building out a beverage distribution park in Montgomery, Alabama. Just to point out that $600 million a year is a rounding error for the United States government. So there is no doubt that we could inject a lot of capital into Greenland and honestly, just being real about it, make these people's lives a lot better. And in exchange, we would get stability and security in the Arctic. Do you think it's worth it? What is going on with Greenland? Why does Trump care?
Wow, that is, listen, the more you know, man, that is some, wow. Good grief. That is some awesome information. Wow. Let's go to the next one.
We had the worst warden. This ratchet ass, bad wig wearing, cockeyed heifer, Sherry Salisbury. Now, she is now at Fountain Prison in Alabama because I had her ass ushered out of there as well. She was a diehard, well, she was a lesbian, which I'm all for lesbians. I'm a lesbian, contrary to some people's belief. But she hated men so bad. And I would confront her every time she would lie. And she called me up to her office when the heat was really coming down on her by the Office of the Inspector General over the complaints that Savannah had filed and the evidence that we had turned over. And she said to me, Mr. Chrisley, do you know why I've called you up here? And I said, you missed me? Mr. Chrisley, this is not comedy hour. I said, no, because I've performed in much better places. And she said, Mr. Chrisley, this is my camp. I run it, not you. I said, that's evident by the way it runs.
Damn.
Mr. Chrisley, don't be cute with me. I could send you to the shoe. I said, and you and I both know that if you could, you would. What did you need? She said, you and I have a lot more in common than you think we do. And I said, Miss Salisbury, that's Warden Salisbury to you. I said, Miss Salisbury, the only thing that I can think of that you and I have in common is that we're both lesbians. Outside of that, I can't imagine that you and I have anything else in common. Now, this is the same woman, when she took over as warden, called me into her office 4 days after she had been there, and I had passed her on the sidewalk. I nodded to her. I didn't know who she was. I mean, I thought she was just some other low IQ individual that was working there. And she calls me up there and says that she was offended because that she had researched me and that she knew that my fashion acumen was so on point, that I knew so much about fashion, but yet I never commented about her Gucci belt that she was wearing. That's what she called me to her office to ask me. And I said, well, that's because it wasn't real. It was a knockoff. Mr. Chrisley, it was not. I said, it is. I says, just as you've stated, I know what the labels are and I know what the product looks like. I said, but you did have on 0 grands. I says, by Cole Haan. I said, I'll give you that.
My goodness.
So I had, and I'm proud to say I had no relationship with this ratchet ass. First of all, this bitch would come in with these cheap ass wigs on, wouldn't even be lined up. Would not even be lined up. And I know better than that. If I, as a white man raising a child of color, knows that your edges need to be right, you who've had edges your whole life should know that they should be right. But she was just no good, and she hated men. She would do shakedowns and steal their underwear because she'd say they didn't come from commissary, that they came from outside the facility, not taking into consideration that a lot of these men had come there from other facilities, that they did buy some of this stuff there. We had the worst.
We've sold nearly 50,000.
I was looking at Fox News the other day, and they were showing Minneapolis and all the protesters out there. And it was actually Gutfeld's show, I believe. And one thing they brought out that I 100% agree with is all you seen out there was females. Now, you seen a few men here, there, and now and again, you know, getting in people's face, but it was mostly outraged, crazy liberal women, predominantly white liberal women. Now, when I was watching, Ilhan Omar was out there, but she was very, very calm and very reserved. I seen a black woman yelling and screaming and crying because they went into the home and they took out a man, and he looked like he was black. I don't know if he was where he came from, but he looked like he was black. That just goes to show you that not everybody who is black is a foundational Black American. And so we're not all the same, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't mean to get into all that, but I just wanted to drop that little nugget to y'all. Kind of like Haiti and all them and Africans that are true African. We're not the same. They don't even like us, okay? But nevertheless, it's females that are leading the charge against ICE agents. And they look pretty dangerous to me. Very dangerous, actually. They yelling and screaming and getting in front of vehicles, jumping on vehicles, just acting a plum D fool.
But notice I said how Ilhan Omar was acting very reserved. Now, she was out there. She said her little speech, but she was very reserved with her speech. What I'm trying to say is they're using people to do their dirty work. These women actually think that they are doing God a service. They actually think that the ICE agent, as the black woman from Black Lives Matter said, are unalivers and demons, but they are not. Black Lives Matter women and white liberal women are indoctrinated, and they are totally disassociated from reality. And those political beasts such as Ilhan Omar are pulling their strings while staying in political power, knowing that she is graping the people for every cent that they got. And let's not forget, she is in fact Islamic. And we know that they want to enter into every house in America. It's a big game, a big using game. And at the end of the day, all those white liberal women and those Black Lives Matter women will lose. They just don't see it yet, but I see it clear as day. I refuse to be a slave for those in political power. All I have to say about ICE in Minnesota, ICE, baby. Get these people the heck out of our country. I was looking at Fox News the other day.
So you feel like women are not equal to men?
No female and male species in nature are equal. No animal, no beast. So what make in the design of male and female were never to be equal. That's why our muscles, our shoulders are separated from you guys. So that's why we were never designed to be equal.
You feel like that triggers a lot of people when you say that?
Yeah. So if you want to be equal, go play NFL football.
I'm not doing
That's what I'm. Don't let Ray Lewis. Let's go try to tackle Stephon Diggs. So that's what I'm saying. So if you really think we equal, when it's time, when I hit you, let me hit you back, and the police not get involved as if it's mutual combative. If we're really equal, bitch, okay, let me hit you across your head, then like we do. Cause you say if a little girl hit a little boy, hey, don't hit her back. I tell my son, go hit that bitch back. He said, go hit her back. Because if anybody have anything to say to me, anything hit it back. If it hits you, girl, boy, hit it back.
But you know you're stronger than a woman.
Well, because if I stand there, I done seen with stars on their face because she done scratched him up, scratches on her neck, hit it, he took it. And now he got permanent markings on his face. I've seen that. I can't defend myself. My nature is to react. I'm not gonna go against my nature because you're a woman.
So you feel like women are not equal to men?
4 pieces of proof of.
Meet Gavin and Tanner. They're stupid, but they had a big plan. You see, their plan was to travel to the Gonave Island in Haiti. All the men on the island then take the women and children as slaves, where they would then force the women and children to watch Netflix with them. If you don't know what that means, look in the comments. Now, if all that sounds insane to you, it gets worse because it's the actual plan that these two came up with that's the scary part. You see, sometime last year, they meet up. They say, look, we still finna take over that island. Tanner said, you know, I'm always ready. How we gonna do it? We're gonna go in military style. Gavin said, that's smart. You ever been to the military? Tanner said, I guess I haven't. So Tanner joins the Air Force and Gavin joins a firefighter academy so they can gain some skills to take over the island. Tanner in the Air Force, busting his ass. He said, man, this is tough. Let me see how Gavin doing. Ring, ring, ring. Gavin said, yep. Tanner said, okay, how's the firefighter training going? Gavin said, firefighter training? Oh, I flunked out. Remember, they stupid. He said, they was trying to make me learn and all that. Tanner said, ooh, I almost said something. Gavin said, cool your jets, Tanner, because I got a plan. Look, I'm finna go to Thailand and learn how to sail boats because to take over the island, we got to get to the island and we don't know how to sail. So Gavin flies over to Thailand. He says, hey, y'all, I'm trying to learn how to sail one of these. One of the folks out in Thailand said, yeah, we can teach you. Look, this is how much it's going to cost. Gavin said, cost? Oh, I'm broke. They said, oh, why don't you just Google how much it costs for us to teach you? We got websites. Gavin said, I should have done that. They said, yeah. But you can swim around the water, though. That's free. Now, it's at this point, the two men decided to take a step back because they realized they were in over their heads. Psych, stupid. You not listening. They dumb. They said, we'll figure out the boat stuff and the training stuff later. Let's move on to phase 2. Recruiting soldiers. And by recruiting soldiers, I mean going to Washington, D.C. and asking homeless people to join them. In fact, Tanner requests to be stationed in Maryland so he can be close to Washington, D.C. so he can consistently try to recruit homeless people. The homeless people in Washington, D.C. were like, nah, we're not going to do that. Gavin and Tanner said, y'all want to think on it? They said, nah. And it was at this point, Gavin and Tanner looked at each other and said, let's keep going. So they start writing battle plans. They start texting each other plans, saying, all right, we're going to go here. We're going to go there. They start texting each other terrible things they're going to do to the Haitian women. And it was at this point they get a knock on their door. Do. Gavin and Tanner said, who that? They said, it's the FBI. Gavin and Tanner said, y'all trying to join us? The FBI said, not really, but you're going to jail though. Gavin and Tanner said, all right, we coming out. You see, the FBI had been watching them for months. We don't know exactly how they got caught yet, but that information is probably going to come out in the future. And well, these pictures you've been looking at this whole time are their mugshots. Gavin and Tanner said, how many years we facing? The FBI said, you're not facing like any years exactly. You're just facing your whole lives. Gavin and Tanner said, hey, but we didn't actually take over the island. We didn't do nothing. The FBI said, and you were never going to take over the island. You know how many people live on Gonave Island? Gavin and Tanner said, 40? FBI said 87,000. Gavin and Tanner said, well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. So now Gavin and Tanner both face life in prison for conspiracy to people in another country. Side note, they also face another 15 to 30 years for producing a video in which, let's just say, they're doing Epstein activities. Now, technically, these are all charges, so all of this is alleged, but they were texting about their plans back and forth for like a whole year. And they were being watched really closely by the FBI, so it's probably going to be life for Dumb and Dumber. Meet Gavin and Tanner. They're stupid, but they had a big plan.
That is... Listen, man, conspiracy. All right? That means talking about something. Taking steps towards doing that something that could get you a very, very long time. And every time it's the cell phones that catch you up, man. Y'all better wake up, man. The time for breaking the law is over, okay? These folks got too many ways of catching your ass. Believe that. We're gonna get a couple more in here, man. Let's see. We are coming. Oh, we over an hour, but we're gonna get a couple.
My name is Joshua Kalu. I played ball in the NFL for 7 years until one day I got a call and they told me I have to come back. This is another day of me telling my story and why now I have a wellness club here in Houston, Texas called Earn Recovery. So when I got cut from my first team, the Tennessee Titans, they put my shit in the trash bag. They shipped it home and they put me on the first flight back home. The crazy part is, as soon as I landed, my agent called me and he said, hey, we have to get you on a flight out tonight. We got a workout with the Arizona Cardinals tomorrow. He called me back about an hour later. He said, guess what? If that doesn't work out, we're gonna get you on a red eye to Detroit Lions. We're gonna get you rolling. So I landed in Arizona. I'm getting ready for this workout. I see the competition. Oh yeah, I got the job. I'm already texting my people, like we're gonna be in Arizona. So I go do the workout, have a great workout. It was cool. They didn't pick me up. So they put me on a red eye flight to Detroit. I get there at 6 o'clock in the morning. They take me to the hotel, tell me I have 30 minutes to sleep, take a nap. We're gonna wake you up, and we're gonna get you to the facility to go do another workout. The hardest workout of my goddamn life. Guess what? Killed it. But they still ain't picked me up. What am I supposed to do now? So now I fly back to Houston, and I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, God damn, do I suck? Like, am I really made for this shit? What am I supposed to do? I go get a job. I don't even know how to get a job. I've never worked a day in my life. All these thoughts went into my head. And then I snapped out of it and said, nah, fuck that. I'm the one. They just didn't know. It's good though. But next time I get a chance, I'm gonna show them. 2 days later, the Tennessee Titans call me back. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's time. It's time. I'm about to go get this money. So as soon as I land, they take me to the facility. I get to the locker room, put on my pads. It's already practice. I got to run straight out there. Cool. I'm like, all right, it's time for me to go show these people what I really got, what I'm really made of. So I played safety. They had me play corner just because all the other corners were tired and we did one-on-ones. I go out there and I go get an interception. I'm lit. I'm happy. Can't tell me shit. The whole day only got one rep. The whole day only had one rep, and it wasn't even my position. The next day, I showed up with the same energy. I got 2 plays, and I dropped the interception. I had a PBU. Then I'm lit, but I'm like, fuck, I'm missing out on money. Come on, Lou. I thought you was gonna show them. Now I'm in my head. I wake up again the next day, same energy. Not only did I get 2 plays, I'm running with the 2s the next day. They showing me the better I do, the more opportunities I get. So I put 3 great days back to back to back, right? And now we have our preseason game the next day. We playing the Steelers. The team meeting room, my head coach says, man, we don't know what the fuck you did when we cut you, Kalu, but keep that shit up. everybody start laughing at me. I'm in the back just stale face, like, me fucked up. But it's good though. I had to learn. I had to go back and self-evaluate and go do what I needed to do. Nobody know. They thought it was a joke, but nah, this was life or death. Nobody felt that pressure I felt when I was on the other side. Thought this shit was over with. My name is Joshua Kalu. I played ball in the NFL for 7 years.
Up, man.
Airport thieves are now stealing your
shout
stuff.
Shout out to that brother, man. That's hard work, man. Ain't nobody gonna get it but you, man. You the only one that can get it. You can't depend on nobody else to get it for you. If you want it, you have to go and get it.
Tell me you're a hypocrite without telling me you're a hypocrite. Obama will go first. Say hello to 2015 then President Barack Obama awarding Mr. Tom Homan.
Tom Homan. Wow, that's amazing.
One of the highest civil awards that a civilian could receive in service. The Presidential Rank Award for Distinguished Service. Oh, but it gets better because look at why he gave it to him. In 2015, President Obama presented Thomas D. Homan with the Presidential Rank Award for Distinguished Service, the top civil service award available, for his leadership as Executive Associate Director of ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, where he managed record deportations and enforcement operations. And what is so hypocritical is that the same people that applauded and awarded Mr. Homan are now against the very actions that they were awarded in the first place for doing. I can't with these people, man. Tell me.
Hypocrisy at the highest level, man. I started seeing it, so that's why I changed the way that I vote. I'm paying attention, man.
When I got there,
porn and scrolling are the most. The United States owes 36 trillion. China owes 15 trillion. Japan owes 10 trillion. Germany owes 3 trillion. The UK owes 3 trillion. France owes 3.5 trillion. Every major nation on earth is in debt. Total global debt is 317 trillion. $317 trillion. So that's 330% of global GDP. Every dollar of production on earth doesn't equal the total debt. We need 3 years of global output with zero consumption to pay it off. But here's the question nobody asks. If everyone is in debt, who is the creditor? Who holds $317 trillion in assets if the rest of the world holds $317 trillion in liabilities? Debt is a zero-sum game. For every borrower, there's a lender. If the United States owes $36 trillion...
In the budget I will present to you...
I started therapy because I realized I needed...
How quickly we forget things. You know what we were complaining about from 2020 to 2024? We were complaining about how we had a president that was not anywhere. We couldn't find him. His own press secretary would say he doesn't run meetings before 9 a.m. and he's done by 5 o'clock. He would do one press conference maybe every 6 months if he was forced to do so. Everybody was talking trash about America. We were doing nothing. We were getting bullied. Wars were being started under our regime, under Biden. Ukraine war started. October 7th, Hamas, Israel, all this mess happened. And everybody was complaining about how much they did not like the president in America. Everybody. Then this other guy shows up. His name is Donald J. Trump. The guy is a complete opposite. He works 24/7.
Working every day. Working every day. This dude is working every day. He's not taking any days off.
Christmas, he's quietly attacking the guy that says, come on, do something, I'm here. Maduro, who was acting tough. And you shouldn't do that to the leader of the free world. And America should have a backbone. As a voter, I want a strong leader. I want that. That's important to me. I feel safer. Then New Year's, everybody's celebrating. He's up there 2 o'clock in the morning at Mar-a-Lago at 79, soon to be 80. You got 30-year-olds going to sleep at 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. This guy's working. And then today he does a press conference after nobody was expecting it. They attack and they get Maduro. Then everybody is still complaining on the far left and the far right. Here's the reality of it. You know what I love about him the most? I love the fact that he could care less what you think. And he's just leading. And America is safer than ever before. Fewer drugs, fewer crimes, murder rate is down. Interest rates are gradually going lower. Inflation's going lower. We got work to do with affordability. Not everything is perfect, but thank God we have a strong leader in the White House. And trust me, half the people watching this, they're not going to like it. But this, but that, but Israel, but Qatar, but this, but nothing. We have a great president, and I'm happy he's in the White House. Those of you, nothing's ever going to make you happy. It's part of your DNA. You're not ever going to be happy. I am very happy we have a strong leader. Those of you who agree, awesome. Those of you who don't, thank God this is a free country and you can fully disagree and say whatever you want about what I just said, and you have the right to do so. So do I. God bless.
It's a fact.
You all want to hear something that's very foul? This past Sunday, I was preaching about President Trump and what the scripture says about how you're.
Why is nobody talking about what this man?
That's dating, y'all. You never know what the fuck you gonna see over here. They are clearing out traffic for something. I don't know what it is, but I just seen some officers bring some spike strips out. Bro, I don't need back up because this nigga might turn right here. You see that nigga? Something about to happen. Here they come. All right, here you go, right here. Damn, he just fucking took them out. Bro, please let me leave this motherfucker right now. That was crazy. Oh, they busting. Oh, they busting. What the fuck up on here, bro? That's a day in, y'all. I don't know what the fuck.
Good Lord.
You gonna see over here.
Woo.
You see, John had a problem. He was by a group of people called the Sentinelese, and nobody did anything about it. You see, the Sentinelese are a tribe of people that live on an island that has no contact with the outside world. But see, John's a missionary and thought, okay,
I know this island. Oh my goodness. He finna say what the island is. However, if you don't know, man, make sure y'all go and watch a YouTube video about this island. This is the, like he said, it is the only island on the planet you cannot get on. They see you coming. They know how to take you out the game before you even get there. They don't want to talk. They don't want to converse with anybody. You go to their island. I think it's one of them islands. It might be India or Indonesia or somebody got a law to where you can't go. Nobody can go to that island. They can't even go. But yeah, I saw this story about this dude right here. He did try to go to that island and they took him out the game.
if they don't have contact with the outside world, then they don't know about Jesus in them. So John decides to fly to India since it's close to the Sentinelese people's island. Now, this part's important. The Sentinelese people live on an island called North Sentinel Island. This is part of a larger island chain called the Andaman Islands. But see, the people in the Andaman Islands have contact with the outside world. The people in the Sentinel Islands don't have contact with anybody, not even the people in the Andaman Islands. They are literally all by themselves. As soon as John touches down in India, they say, okay, John, what you here for? John says, I'm just passing through. I'm trying to go to, listen closely, the Andaman Islands. The Indian government says, okay, no problem, but don't go to the Sentinel Islands. That's illegal. You see, the Indian government banned people from going to the Sentinel Island. And you'll find out why in a second. John said, illegal? That's too bad for y'all, because I'm going anyway. John already knew it was illegal. He said, I'm still going. John flies over to the Andaman Island. The people in the Andaman Island said, damn, bro, we don't get too many visitors. What you here for? John said, sightseeing. Can y'all show me where the Sentinel Island's at? They said, we could show you, but we can't take you. It's illegal. He said, of course, of course. They said, there go to Sentinel Island right there. It's across the water from us. John said, I bet, I'm finna need a boat. They said, what? He said, I said, LeBron, the GOAT. John goes over to look for a boat. John finds 2 fishermen. He said, look, y'all, I need y'all to take me to Sentinel Island. They said, what? You know that's illegal. You gonna pay my bail? John said, I got $400 US. I don't know how much bail costs, but they said, say no more. You have me at US dollars. Hop on the boat. So John and the fishermen approach the Sentinel Island. The Sentinelese people see John and the fishermen pulling up. They start bringing out their bows and arrows, start moving aggressively. They're like, John said, you think they're trying to tell me to pull up? The fisherman said, nah, I think they're trying to tell you to stay here. John said, what y'all know? John hops on a canoe. He gets a little bit closer. Now, at this point, the Sentinelese people, they saying, John said, okay, raise the roof. All right, look, check it out, y'all. I got a Bible here. I just want to tell y'all about Jesus. That's when the Sentinelese really get to knucking and bucking. They pull out the bows and arrows. They say, ooh, if you come on this island. Ooh. John said, oh, them folk tripping. He leaves. The fisherman said, that's what we was trying to tell you. Them folk like that. John said, so's my Lord and Savior. We're spinning the block and coming back another day. John was not finished. He comes back another day. The fishermen tell him, John, we appreciate the cash, no refunds, but you can't go out there. John said, watch me. John takes the canoe again. He approaches the Sentinelese people. The Sentinelese people look at each other. They say, you stupid. Stay over there. John said, okay, I'm just going to come a little bit closer. He brings out his Bible and starts to sing. He said, how great is... Boom! They shoot an arrow at bro. But the arrow hits John's Bible and he swims away. And here's where things start to get wicked. You see, they didn't accidentally hit John's Bible. That was their target. They didn't want to hurt him. They wanted him to go away. You see, there's a reason why the Indian government made it illegal for people to have contact with the Sentinelese. It's because their immune systems are not built to handle the diseases that humans in the world carry today. And the Sentinelese people know that because this British dude, Maurice, in the 1800s, pulled up to the Sentinel Islands, took 4 people. He gave them smallpox. 2 of them, he said, send the other 2 back to the island. The other 2 were coughing, sick. He said, send them back. Maurice then visits a tribe close by the Sentinelese, wipes out the entire population. Maurice said, damn, he wrote in his diary, yeah, it seems that we get people sick, but we the British, since the 1800s, we finna pull up anyway. So after witnessing all this, you can probably understand why the Sentinelese don't want people approaching the island. Now, the crazy part is, despite witnessing all this, the Sentinelese people seem pretty chill. Indian anthropologists visited them in the 90s. Look at bro shaking hands. He said, what's good with y'all? Hey, we don't want y'all visiting, but like, we cool. The Indian people start giving them coconuts. The Sentinelese people like, appreciate y'all. But one of the Sentinelese people brings out some real sharp dough and starts putting it around his heart, saying, One of the Indian anthropologists like, oh, I think we gotta go, y'all. The Sentinelese tribe's like, yes, y'all gotta go, but we appreciate y'all, you know. But unlike those Indian anthropologists, John didn't take the hint and decides to go a 3rd time. And well, that was that. The next time they found John, he was on the beach of the island. The Indian government pulls up to the Andaman Islands. They said, what happened? They said, John went to Sentinel Island. India said, oh. The United States pulls up. They said, what happened to our citizen? You know we don't play. They said, he went to Sentinel Island. United States said, oh, that's that island where you're not supposed to, you know. India said, yeah. We went over to the island too to get his remains for y'all. Sentinelese people was not having it, but we did manage to get his diary. United States government looked at his diary and said, I know what I'm doing is illegal. If they catch me slipping, don't be mad at the Sentinelese. The United States said, no, we're not mad. The United States and the Indian government figured, well, he was warned a bunch of times. What can you do? In fact, his parents, John's parents, weren't even upset at the Sentinelese or John. They were upset at the evangelical church, who they believe radicalized him. In fact, even after he passed, some members of the evangelical church were praising him, and he became a martyr in some people's eyes. Now, at the end of the day, John got for what he believed in, but to me, he was no different than that dude from the 1800s that went to the Sentinelese island, because even though both men knew what might happen to the Sentinelese people if they went to the island, they went anyway, because in their minds, their beliefs were worth risking the Sentinelese people's lives. But as we saw from what happened to John, the Sentinelese people disagreed. You see, John had a problem. He was by a group of people called the...
Oh boy, I tell you, I do not be on TikTok like that, but that was a very informative story right there. Hey man, I appreciate y'all, man. We didn't have too much to talk about tonight, but it's okay. I kind of like scrolling the TikTok streets with y'all. If this is something that y'all like to do, hey, we could do it again. Yep, we'll take another night to do it. But I definitely would do this probably every night if y'all comment below enough. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning into XCon Media. Go right ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hurry up!